But yeah, so welcome to the stream, and thank you so much for joining me here today. Do you want to introduce yourself and talk a little bit about your role on the project here?
I'm Apple. I developed this game. I also developed a game called Blink, and a game called Ideas, and a game called The Voice Beneath, which you played.
Yes, that was the one that I played last time on the stream.
Yep. And I couldn't do the voice because uh, real life.
Mhm.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah, the stream is
Yeah, no
a bit.
worries.
So yeah.
Okay, so looking for my keys, I should keep looking. Right, maybe they are up ahead. Yeah, I noticed that between this game and your previous one, they both have a very distinct style. Um, and that something you're trying to keep consistent between the different games that you develop?
Yeah, I take a lot of inspiration from art-wise from games like Thomas Was Alone,
Mm-hmm.
because it's all squares, and my the with just
Oh,
squares, then you're doing a good job.
sorry, I think you might have cut out there briefly, but you were saying, yeah, you take inspiration from games like Thomas Was Alone, and then.
If you can make a game, make a story with just squares,
Mm-hmm.
then you're doing a good job.
Right, it's more about the writing and the characterization than it is the visual
The actual
presentation.
graphics, yeah. Like almost all my games have the same code. I just kind of rearrange the graphics and the add in text.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
And that's
absolutely.
how I make games.
Yeah, I saw on the itch.io page that there's a lot to read and to interact with, so I'm doing my best
Yeah.
to, in fact, inspect all of these.
Yeah. I was worried about people just skipping over like everything because you could go from start to finish and you'd only need to interact with a box and a door at the end.
Mm-hmm.
To get to the very end, you wouldn't get anything story wise.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Yeah, I guess it is one of those tough things that you're, um, I guess one thing that you could include to, um, I guess, prompt people to like realize when they can interact with something is to have even like a little like triangle pointer moving up and down above each unique interactable in the game.
Yeah, that could be that could work. That'd be easy to put in.
Um, Welcome to the stream, Indie Man. How are you doing today? What is the system that you used for printing the text on the screen? Like, did you just roll that yourself, or are you using a text system?
I made it all myself.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, it's all basically you've got a Text Mesh Pro text box, yeah? That's the same text box throughout the whole day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah? So that doesn't change. And I just, in the Uni Inspector, I put in how many sentences I want, and I put in what I want to be in those sentences. And each sentence, you press space to go to the next sentence. it types out,
Mm-hmm.
and that's how it works.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, it's the sort of basics of a like, and then it's like adding one character every frame.
Yep, that's how it works.
Yep. Nice and simple. Oh boy, looks like we got the big boss here with the key
Yeah.
key on his head.
I wanted to make the boss hard, but doable.
Mm-hmm.
Because the boss used to you used to have to jump onto a platform to get to the top, but he kind of like swoops down enough so that you can actually get to him without too much trouble.
All right, looks like I managed to grab the keys. Oh, so SK Vader's asking what engine was this made in? This is also Unity.
Yep, this is Unity. I make all my games in Unity, and I've been using it for 2 years.
Nice. All right, hey, I made it through the game, made it to the outside.
Yep, that's the outside. The outside was a last minute thing where I was just gonna have like a black screen
Mm-hmm.
that was gonna fade into like credits. But then I decided to make an actual outside area.
So is this game based on any specific inspiration of like moving and packing and then packing up your keys by mistake, or just not being able to find something in the midst of a move?
The original here's a big origin story, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
I started the jam day one, and I saw up. I spent 2 days thinking. Yeah, nothing happened.
Mm-hmm.
So at the end of the second day, I watched a video. You know the game Hello Neighbor?
I'm aware of it, yeah.
Yeah. I watched a video on how much of a failure that game was, and I was like, that art style with the long legs of the bed and the big stacks of boxes,
Mm-hmm.
I could do that. And I was going to make the main character, the person that you play as, be a psychopath,
Mm-hmm.
be a murderer, and like there was going to be like that door that you need your keys for at the start of the game.
Mm-hmm.
That was going to be like a basement door where the character would actually talk to the player and say, "Oh no, there's nothing in there. Don't go in there. You don't want to see what's in there." Kind of defending the door. But then I realized that doesn't really line up with the theme of the jam. So I was like, okay, so instead of getting your keys from the box and going into the door, what if it opened a portal to hell? Yeah, and then the rest of the game kind of came along as I never really plan anything.
Mm-hmm.
I write as I build, and that's how I make my games.
Yeah, I was just trying to see if there's anything that I missed in when I interacted with, but yeah, it sounds like it's a, you tell me if this is accurate, but like, would you say that you follow the sort of follow the idea and the process rather than like having an idea in mind and then trying to adhere as close to that idea as possible as you go on?
Could you repeat that, please?
Yeah, I was kind of all over the place, but really it's like, would you say that like you start with an idea and then you try to build everything to be as close to that idea as possible, or do you let the idea like grow and change over time as you're building it?
I let it grow and change over time.
Mm-hmm.
I procrastinate a lot, and then I realize, oh no, I have to get something actually done
Hmm.
So I just do something really quickly and then refine that over time. So I like build on that idea
Hmm.
over time. Like it never starts off as a big idea and I'm like, okay, I need to build that.
Hmm.
So because I start off with a small little idea and then I'm like, okay, I'm going to build that, and I build another thing and another thing and another thing onto there. So it just makes a whole story.
Yeah, absolutely. And I do
Yeah.
remember from your other games that there are secrets to be found by maybe going past the intended path. So I found secret box.
Yeah,
Doesn't look
secret
like there's
box.
anything else here. But what if I go to the left? No.
Oh, that's the only real secret in this
Okay.
game. Just the secret box.
I did it. All right. I managed to complete the game a second time. Um, Tridia Gamer, welcome to the stream. How are you doing today? But yeah, all right. So that was a fun yet chaotic adventure. Time to leave my house once more. Oh, I guess I don't have to click to advance. It goes on its own.
The secret box or the secrets,
Mm-hmm.
like the move into a wall past the wall because the wall doesn't have collision. That's kind of like the Stan Lee of my kind of game universe. Is like it's always there in each game. I make sure that you can go through a wall and there's something there. That's kind of a staple in my games.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Just to address a question here from the chat really quickly. I asked people to submit their games through Discord for a couple of reasons. First of all, Discord is how I get in touch with people and like have the voice interviews in the first place. It also keeps the chat clear of links, so we have all the links just in order without any chat messages in between them. So it's easiest for a number of reasons to submit games via the Discord. And also, if I don't get to anyone today, then it means that I have a way of following up with them before as well, because some people have submitted their games in the chat and then they ask me like, "Oh, so when's my interview?" And it's like, "Well, you left the Discord. I can't get in touch with you anymore. So you have to stay on at least until I can have the opportunity for the interview." Anyway, so speaking of interview questions, actually, what am I supposed to do to advance the screen? Because remember last time I actually saw the outside, but now I'm just looking at the door.
If you press E.
Okay. Right, because E is your interact.
E is the interactive.
Yeah.
There's actually a reason why it's E and space.
Mm-hmm.
So it's space to forward dialogue and then there's E. Because my text kind of code, it runs on, because it says put in an interact key,
Mm-hmm.
which is like the starting of the code. So it kind of starts the code, and then that key cannot be the forward dialogue key, because when you press E on the last sentence,
Mm-hmm.
it initializes a new one. So you're kind of stuck in an infinite text thing.
Oh, I mean, you could also just make it so that you check for both a press and a release.
Yeah. I was kind of going fast on the code because I spent like 2 days just thinking.
Yeah, of course. If you have limited time, that's not the priority.
Yeah, 7 days. Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
So, do you have any useful recommendations or a clever hack that you use in the Unity engine that you think would be useful to others?
I'm very new to Unity and I don't really grasp the concepts of code really well. So 90% of my code is actually from tutorials, such as like Brackeys or
Yeah,
Blackthorn
of course.
Prod or them people. So 90% of my code is just those, yeah.
Mhm.
But I kind of like alter it a little bit to suit what I need,
Mhm.
and that's all of my code. And another thing that I do is um uh I put a I put an empty object and I put see a lot of my art is just squares, yeah,
Mhm.
a bunch of squares, like it's just squares upon squares upon squares. So I create an empty object in the hierarchy
Mhm.
and I parent all the squares of say I made a building, I'd
Yeah.
parent all those squares to that empty object so I can move it easier. And it also organizes the hierarchy so you don't have just a bunch of squares. They don't know what they are.
Yeah, I'd say that's a great suggestion. It's a great way to keep your hierarchy clean is to use the empty objects to serve as parents of various objects in the game. Um, all right. So, would you consider this game done, or do you have any changes or anything that you want to make for it going forward?
It was a good idea, but I think I'll just leave it short little jam game.
Hmm.
So I won't be making a full whole release for it. I
All
did
right.
consider it though.
Yeah, sure. Sounds good. Um, so, do you have any other jams that you're looking forward to participating in coming up?
Not not really actually. I 2 months prior to this jam,
Hmm.
I was just excited for this jam. So I
Hmm.
wasn't really preparing for anything over. My first jam was in January, last January. I did the Blackthorn Prod one. Then the next week I did the WoWE game jam. I did the Brackeys, or how they I think it was Brackeys first, then WoWE.
Hmm.
So I did all three of those in the same month, one after another. And after that, I did another one called Black and White Game Jam, which is just where you have to make a game black and white.
Hmm.
And that game's called Procrastination because that's all I did during the thing. Yeah, yeah, that's all the jams I've participated in. I'm not really sure if there's any more jams I want to participate in this year. If I see one, I'll do it.
Yeah. All right. So, where can people find you on social media, and do you have any other projects of yours that you'd like to plug?
You can find me on. I'll tell you now. I'm opening Twitter on my phone. I'm at Apple the Code on Twitter. Capital A, capital T, capital T.
Let me see if I can
You can
find
find
that.
me on
Pull it up.
my
Apple.
the
Um.
no space. Um, the words are kind of separated with
Oh, Apple the code.
Apple the Code. Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
my username is Apple.
Yep. I believe I've found it here. Just want to make 100% sure.
Yeah, that's me.
Okay. Cool. Repost that in the chat there, and of course on
Um,
itch.io as well. I'll post your itch.io profile.
yep. I'm not really active on any real social medias other than Twitter, so
Yep. That's totally
or and
fine.
Itch. Obviously, Itch is
Hmm.
another.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Well, if anyone has any last questions, now's your best chance to submit them. But otherwise, well, thank you so much for joining me on the stream here today.
No, thank you. Thanks for having me. What you're doing is very good of you. having developers actually talk to the person who is streaming their game is very good.
Yeah, I think it's much better to have a dialogue going, and always love to hear about the experiences that go into developing each game. So, oh, Escavator is asking if you have any experience using other engines, possibly before you got started using Unity.
None at all. I looked up. I literally to start game development. I went on to Microsoft Edge.
Hmm.
I went on to YouTube. I went. I wanted a new hobby basically. I wanted something to just do,
Hmm.
make. Yeah, because I did drawing and reading before, but like reading was boring and drawing I wasn't really getting anywhere with it. Obviously, I could practice, but it was taking a long time. So I decided, hey, game development would be good. So I went onto YouTube and I searched literally how to make a game, and the first one was Brackeys. Brackeys is how to make a game series where he makes like a 3D box and it goes forward and you're dodging obstacles. So I
Hmm.
actually started in 3D before I moved to 2D because I didn't know how to make a square in 2D. I only
Yeah, and
knew how
something
to
like
make
Unity, it's
cubes in,
non-trivial.
yeah, I only knew how to make cubes in 3D instead of squares in 2D.
Hmm.
So I made that game, and then it was the YouTuber Danny,
Maybe.
the the person who, yeah, he's a YouTuber and he made a video completely unrelated. It's not a tutorial. He's making a game, and I see him go down to like the assets. He right clicks. He goes into create. He goes
Hmm.
into sprites. He goes into square, and I'm like, whoa, that's how you create a square. And then I started making 2D instead of 3D,
Hmm.
and that's how I started making games overall.
Nice. Okay, so right, Excavator is pointing out that Danny is the creator of Muck, which we tried out on last Friday's community game night.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But yeah, that's really cool. I'm glad that it was sort of accessible enough to you that you were able to like get into game dev by following these tutorials and by like watching these various videos of others developing. It's like, oh, okay, cool. So that's how you do that, and then
Yeah, yeah.
that sort of helped you find your style, and then the choice to make like the sort of distinct and sort of like boxy art style you mentioned was inspired by Thomas Was Alone. Um, and then like how do you choose your palette for the game?
Oh, I go on to this website called coolors.com. COOLORS.com
Okay, yeah.
or .ie. I think it's coolers.com. Coolers.co.com.
Oh yeah, I actually
It's
had it open.
if you go into it, start generator.
Hmm.
You can just press space and keep pressing space to make different color palettes. And you can also lock colors. If you see a color that you like and you want to
Hmm.
use that, you just lock it. And you press space again and it just locks it. And I have a few color palettes that I just save and use them.
Hmm.
Hmm. Like if I want a red one, I just press space until I see a lot of red, lock the red colors, and press space again until I see more red or a contrasting color.
Yeah, nice. So here's the demonstration of how that sort of thing works right now. Cool. All right. Well, I will. I'll repost the link to this particular color palette that I've got here, but most importantly, the website itself. Yeah, cool. Well, I think that's about all we have in terms of questions right now. So thank you once again
Hmm.
for coming on. And yeah, if you have any other projects that you end up making as part of a jam or that you just like some feedback on, then uh, please feel free to submit them anytime. and we can have another conversation like this on the stream.
Yep. Yeah. I'm making a game. Last time when we did a interview, it was text, but I said I was making a full version of a different Jam game called Blink.
Mhm.
I have since stopped developing that because I realized that when I made it first, I made it perfect. I didn't want to change anything about it. I wanted it to just stay as the short little game that was.
Mhm.
So then I went on and I made about 3 more games after that. One of them's a Five Nights at Freddy's type game, which I made in 2 days.
Mhm.
And I'm thinking of making a full version of that because I really liked the concept of that. It's a, it's like if you take Five Nights at Freddy's and you took Russian roulette and you
Mhm.
like put them together, like in front of you is a robot and it's pointing a gun at you, and you have to, and there's like a button in front of you, and it when you press the button, it shoots one of the chambers,
Okay.
and you have to like skip the right bullet so that you don't die. That's the whole concept of it.
Yeah, I see. That is this one here, Five Nights at Roulette's.
Five Nights at Roulette, that's the one. It's a download game. Yeah, there it is. Roulette V7. It's because I had a lot of trouble with hooking things up.
Mhm.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you. Maybe I can try this game out at some point down the line. But yeah, thank you so much for coming on and answering my questions and chat's questions as well. But yeah, enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll talk again soon.
Yeah, the rest of my day is like 3 hours.
Okay. Well, yeah.
Yeah, it's time one. Yeah.
Right. Have a good evening then.
All right. You too. See you.
Okay. Bye bye.
Bye bye.